Welcome. I'm going to read to you today the first chapter of this fantastic book, Mr. Gum and the Biscuit, Billionaire, by Andy Stanton. It's the second book in the series of Mr. Gum books. Chapter 1, On Boaster's Hill. It all started late one afternoon in the peaceful little town of Bibber. Summer was almost at an end, and the day stretched out long and lazy like a huge glossy panther made of time. The birds chirped in the trees, the rabbits chirped in their burrows, and a fox walked along the railway tracks whistling Greensleeves and thinking fondly of a vixen he had once loved. Up on Boaster's Hill, a little girl sat reading a book called Cobbler Wins the Prizes. Now, this little girl's name was Polly, and she was the sort of girl you could be friends with. She was brilliant at running and jumping and scabbing up her knees, and she didn't have no time for nonsense, okay? She was brave and honest and true, and when she laughed, the sunlight went splashing off her pretty teeth like diamonds in search of adventure. But where were the laughter and diamondy teeth now? Nowhere, because Polly was bored. Cobbler Wins the Prizes is full of escapades, but that's just a book, she complained to herself. Nothing exciting never happens around here, and that whopper dog Jake never even comes round to play any more. For alas, it was true. Polly hadn't seen that big old Jake all summer long. Oh, how she missed riding on his huge furry back and pretending he was a horse or a spaceship. "Jakey," she called hopefully, in case he just happened to be nearby, playing cards with a dormouse or something, but there was no answering woof to be heard. "Sigh," sighed Polly, with a sigh. "First no adventures, and now no Jakey. It's well unfair." And with that, she lay back in the long grass, the hot sun beating down, and soon she was drifting away. When Polly awoke, it was dusk, and the afternoon had grown fat with shadows, and a long, low breeze whispered secrets in the bushes, and the light was all funny and golden, full of magic, mystery, and moths. "What strangery is this?" whispered Polly. Her hair was standing on end, and her arms were covered in goosebumps. It felt like something was going to happen. And then, sure enough, something did happen. A little figure appeared over the top of Boaster's Hill. It was the strangest man Polly had ever pointed her eyes at. For a start, he was only 15 centimetres tall, and he was made entirely out of gingerbread, with raisins for eyes, and he had electric muscles so he could walk around like you and me, and blue sparks came off him whenever he moved. And what's more, he carried an enormous biscuit tin, and it was stuffed full of money. And as you know, money is worth a lot of money, and there was an awful lot of money in that tin, and that's a fact. "Hello," said the little man, skipping over to where Polly sat. "I'm Alan Taylor." There he is. There's Alan Taylor carrying his big biscuit tin full of money. "I'm Polly," replied Polly in wonder. "Are you from magic fairy dreamland where the rivers run with lemonade and the streets are paved with unicorns?" Please don't make fun of me, said Alan Taylor. Haven't you ever seen a gingerbread man with electric muscles before? Sorry, I haven't, replied Polly in embarrassment. I'm only 9 and I didn't mean to make no fun. Well, all right, replied the talkative Biscuit. Here, take some money so we can be friends, he continued, offering her bundles of banknotes. Why, I don't need your riches, said Polly in astonishment. I'll be your friend anyway. That's not how the world works, said Alan Taylor sadly, stuffing the money back into his tin. But do come to my party tomorrow, he said, cheering up. I've just moved into town and built a massive mansion on top of this very hill. Look, it's massive, so I can impress people and get friends. It's massive. There's his massive mansion on top of Boaster's Hill. Polly looked up, and there it stood, a gleaming and a glittering, in a blaze of floodlights. Caw, she exclaimed, it's big enough for a king, or 2 little kings. They could share it and play hide and seek. Ha 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 ha! But it's all mine, laughed Alan Taylor. I'm so rich, he sang, dancing around in the grass and throwing banknotes at a passing aphid. Do you like me, Polly? Do you want some money? I told you, said Polly firmly. That's not what friendship is all about. Of course it is, replied Alan Taylor with a frown. But listen, come round tomorrow afternoon before the party starts. I'll show you my house and impress you that way. Well, the truth was, Polly did want to see inside the marvellous house, and she liked Alan Taylor, even though he seemed a bit confused about money and friendship. So she thanked him graciously. Then she tried to curtsy, but she didn't know how, so she just wiggled her arms around and shouted, "Curtsy!" and hoped that would do. Good try, said Alan Taylor generously. Well, I better get going. There's lots more people to invite and impress. And off he raced on his crunchy little legs, leaving Polly too excited for words. So she said some numbers instead. 12, 93, 114, she said as she made her way back home. And soon she was in bed, dreaming of gingerbread men and parties and all manner of wonderful things. That's the end of chapter 1. Tomorrow I will read you chapter 2, which is called Meanwhile Over at Mr. Gum's. Thank you for listening.